Suicide Squad is on TBS all the time.
Yeah.
And there's, just like pop it on for a couple of minutes and watch what happens, and and it's fine. And it's a flawed movie. I would put The Suicide Squad kind of in that same kind of realm.
2, 5, 27,
63. Are those the numbers from Lost?
Is it? Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah. Did they ever explain any of Lost, or was it just a big like, oh, magic or whatever?
Yeah, I think it was one of those like, look, we threw a lot of stuff out there. We're gonna connect like five dots.
Yeah, we dug a deep hole.
We dug a deep hole. We're just gonna go ahead and climb on out.
Yeah.
Or we might skip a few rungs on the way up.
Yeah, J.J. the Abrams. I'm surprised he didn't direct this film. They've got him lined up to do the new DCEU.
Wait, what?
You didn't know about this?
No.
Yeah. So Warner Brothers
They want him to be the new Kevin Feige?
Has commissioned J.J. Abrams to be in charge of the new DC universe. So I guess they're...
The MacGuffin-verse?
Yeah, the MacGuffin-verse. Yeah, the mystery box verse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so looking forward to seeing how he'll ruin this franchise. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
I mean, let's be honest, though. This franchise is... I mean, it's not a franchise. It's being held together by... I mean, it's not being held together. It is a collection of movies that may or may not have similarities.
Yeah. Well, Amanda Waller's in, both of these,
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's, and Harley Quinn. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. I don't even know what to say.
I mean, yeah, they're played by the same people, and that is helpful.
That does help. Yeah.
But it's definitely like a situation of like, if you think about it as, here's how I choose to think about it. Okay. The movies that we've watched, we'll just put like The Suicide Squad, Snyderverse, like Batman vs. Superman, Justice League, Man of Steel, Shazam. These movies that are in the same place, but not really. If you think about each of these movies as being a story told by a singular entity, yeah. If each movie has its own storyteller, okay? So it's not that all of the movies have the same storyteller, which is a little bit kind of like what Marvel has. If you think of this outside third entity as being the storyteller for these DCEU movies, then that's how you can justify the gross dissimilarities.
It's like John, Luke.
Exactly.
Paul, what is it?
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Yeah, Matthew, Mark, yeah.
Exactly.
Paul and Ringo.
It's all Jesus, right? But like Matthew's Jesus is a little bit cooler than Luke's Jesus.
For sure. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Why can't I remember the Gospels? Was it Matthew, Mark, Luke, John? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and John's Jesus has better music, obviously. Yeah.
Right.
So,
well,
yeah.
Ringo's Jesus is just holding down the beat.
Yeah. Just
yeah.
Basic backbeat.
Yeah. Ringo's new album, Ringo's Jesus, Peace and Love, comes out September 2021.
Speaking of Jesus, what happened to Jesus? What happened to Jesus?
I mean, it's pretty well documented. I broke him. I broke Jacob.
No, what I mean is I feel like this generation is just...
Two guys Googling what happened to Jesus.
No, I'm just saying...
Two guys Googling stuff.
This generation is more science-based. Scientism. Scientology. More... I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not religious either.
You're saying get off my lawn is what I'm hearing.
I'm not religious either. I'm just saying it just seems to me like there's a lot less of God going around in general. There's a lot less God.
Yeah. I don't know. I think There might, from my perspective, I'll put it that way.
With the youth, though, not people our age.
See, but I think spirituality isn't lost on the youth. I don't think the youth have walked away from spirituality. I think more youth have walked away from organized religion.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I don't know. It just feels very I don't know enough. I don't know enough of the younglings. I feel like
Oh God, no.
I feel like they would all just immediately dismiss me and any of my opinions because I'm old. You know what I mean?
I mean, that is what the youths do.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I feel like that's a pretty concrete thing for teenagers to do.
Yeah, it's just strange.
That's pretty universal.
Well, it's not. It's really an American culture thing. It's not universal. Oh. So if you're from other countries,
it's real national.
Yeah, if you're from another country, then you have respect for your elders, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure when we were 18, they couldn't tell us nothing.
They couldn't. No, not for sure. For sure. Yeah, there was some Jesus in there though. Why do I always talk about the worst things? No science, no religion, no politics from here on out.
Okay, great. So
Starro comes from space.
Starro comes from space.
They were just like, oh, there's a starfish in the sky.
Along.
And
he was just happy. Floating along.
Yeah,
I was happy.
And you just robbed him of his existence.
He had solace.
Yeah,
he was to himself.
He was peaceful.
Yeah, I wonder when Starro takes over a human, does he have do those like human memories get like downloaded into Starro's consciousness?
I think it's one of those things where like Starro, even if they did, I feel like Starro's consciousness is probably more complex and advanced. It's like if we absorbed a fly's consciousness, we wouldn't really care what the fly was thinking. It'd be like, yeah, okay, he had some thoughts. He was like, ooh, an apple. I'm going to go rub my hands on the apple, but it wouldn't matter, So even if he could, I feel like he's more advanced.
Right. It would just be like a collection of like primal urges or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
yes. Yeah. What is with the society all stuck in their lower two chakras?
Right.
Forget them. Yeah. Yeah. They don't know what's up.
They are the unenlightened.
Yes. They are the profane. Space star.
Starfish in space.
Speaking of space, I feel like that's the only, from my point of view, agenda in this movie. It's a very non-woke movie, which we've been getting a lot of woke type, political voices in films recently. All I'm saying is, as far as agendas go in this film, I feel like space is, from my point of view, the only agenda being thrust into this film. And there wasn't very much there's no gender politics or identity politics or commune type isms, announced. Like there wasn't any of those kinds of agendas being put into this film. It was just, it reminded me kind of like 80s action movies, but like with way better effects.
This movie's bonkers.
Yeah.
We'll just put it that way. This movie's bonkers, and some of that has merit. If this movie had come out instead of Suicide Squad, I would have a much higher opinion of it and would be more on board. With this movie, I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay. I also think like for the time, at this point we've had my dog is sleep barking.
Oh,
can you hear that? It's gonna be okay. You get that, whatever you're chasing.
Mm-hmm. Rabbit,
adorable.
Starfish.
What's happening?
Starfish dreams, giant shark, walking dreams.
Yep. That's right.
You were saying?
So yeah, there's like, at this point, gosh, do I know of any non-Guardians of the Galaxy James Gunn movies? I don't know that I can name any of those. Can you name any of those?
No.
So I've just got the two. Let's Google it.
I'm Googling it. Whoops. Two guys.
Super Slither.
I guess super.
Oh, that Rainn Wilson superhero satire movie. Okay. Movie 43.
Dawn of the Dead in 2004. Was that explains.
Yeah.
the
sure
zombie aspect of this film.
Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Yeah.
Oh, that Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks movie, Slither. That's creepy.
Mm.
So he's made some films, but nothing that I can like quickly latch onto and say like. For me, Guardians of the Galaxy, it's kind of his whatever, and this movie like fits into that like a little bit too much. Like when the music started, and it was kind of that like 70s, like could fit on a Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack Volume 3, and I was like, come on, man, like give me something a little different.
To be fair, not the Suicide Squad, but Suicide Squad had lots of music inserted as well. Like it was like a music video.
Right, it was a music video, and it was like but it was a music video for like current music.
Right. What I liked about regular Suicide Squad, I hate that I have to say that. Why would you name a sequel the same thing?
I actually don't mind it. Let me tell you why. I don't mind it because I think there was a conscious decision to say, one, this isn't a direct sequel to the first movie. This is a soft reboot kind of thing. And then also, it's a way to point out that they're going to die. There's going to be some people that die. And obviously, like, this movie lives up to that. But I think it wants to really put a point on we're going to go die during this mission, squad.
Right.
Not all of us are going to make it.
Yeah. The first film where everyone lives, pretty much.
Yeah, everybody makes it except for the one dude
right.
who tries to get away, and because Boomerang told him, and then he gets,
Was that the same Captain Boomerang?
Yep.
So sad what they did to that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it was like we're going to bring some people back from the first movie and kill them off to show you that, whatever. I appreciate the idea of, some people are going to die during these missions, but having it so front loaded as they were all walking, like doing that like walking shot, I could just tell. I was like, oh, all of these people are going to die. Like
I was not nervous. 100%. I thought because they set up what's his name?
Michael Rooker.
Savant.
Yeah.
So good. I was like, okay. Yeah. This guy's going to be important in the film.
Right.
Like they took all that extra time shooting that scene outdoors.
Yeah, him killing that bird. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, that was unnecessary, friend.
And if you're gonna set that up, at least pay it off later. Like use his bouncing ball technique to kill Starro or something.
They paid it off by having the bird eat his face.
That's okay. Karma is a bitch, I guess. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I think also part of the problem was that I had seen or read an interview with James Gunn where he was like, the first movie had like no stakes. It's called The Suicide Squad and everybody makes it out alive. So I was like, oh, okay, so he's going to kill off like 90% of the people in this movie. So when they had this big team or whatever, I was like, oh, they're all like, probably all of them are going to die except for Harley and Flag.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense.
I've seen them in other locations during the, in the trailers.
I mean, it does make sense. I mean, they are there as a distraction. It just makes you think, how cold is Amanda Waller? She sent them in knowing they're pretty much going to die. Like, I mean, it is called the Suicide Squad, but still, like, that's and it does make more sense why you would send a Harley Quinn in, because you don't care about her. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Who cares if she doesn't have any real powers? Just send her in. Like that actually makes more sense than why you would choose Harley Quinn in original Suicide Squad. Right? Because like, why would you use her? Because she's just annoying and doesn't. Yeah. So
she's good with a gigantic wooden hammer.
Yeah, well, let's send her in. Yeah, that makes sense. So
yeah,
I was impressed by Idris Elba as Bloodshot. Was that
Deadshot?
Deadshot. Yeah.
Bloodsport.
Yeah. Bloodshot.
Actually, it is Bloodsport.
Yeah. No, Deadshot was Will Smith, who is.
So we'll call him Bloodshot. Because it's the same damn character.
Yeah, it was the identical character. And if Will Smith doesn't come back to your movie, And you need a character like this. You're right. Idris Elba is probably one of the only guys that can hold that role or elevate it in any way. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it works for me. It was just a shame that they couldn't get Will Smith to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what Will Smith's got going on, but this would have been more fun if it was Will Smith.
Yeah, for sure. But, Idris Elba has that gravitas, and it worked. It worked. It was just a little strange. Like, why didn't they just write him out? Because they had plenty of strong leader type guys. Like, they had Rick Flag.
Give him another motivation other than his daughter. Like, that was the one thing where I was like,
well, you can tell they wrote the original script was.
Oh, absolutely.
Deadshot. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They just couldn't get Will Smith back.
Oh, I loved that when Waller's giving the description and she's saying each member was picked for their unique talents, and then says the exact same thing about Peacemaker as what she said about Bloodshot. Yeah. And he's like, that's my skill set. Exactly. Why? That's not unique.
Right.
That was a good bit.
That was funny. Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Hold on. Say spoiler alert?
Yeah, spoiler alert. I think all of our podcasts are spoilery, so, But just the fact that I had already seen Suicide Squad. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I kind of had an idea of what this might be.
Right.
And what I liked about the other Suicide Squad is that it kind of connected to the rest of the DC universe. This one, it's really its own thing. It's its own thing with some of the same actors, like you said. And I don't even know what to say. Like, I wanted to like this movie, and apparently audiences love this movie. Critics love this movie. And I should, on paper, love this movie, but it just didn't do it for me for some reason.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, typically I like all things. And, would I watch this movie again, tonight? Probably would. It'll probably be a while before I seek it out. But, when it ends up on TBS, a couple of nights a week, and I'm like about to go to bed, I'll flip it on and watch a couple of minutes while I scroll through my phone before, getting up and going to bed. This is, I felt like it just seemed a little predictable, even though, like, the whole idea of this movie is that it's unpredictable and anything could happen. And like the scene with these guys where Peacemaker and Bloodshot go through and murder everyone in the camp, and it's like from the second you set foot, these aren't the military guys. These are the rebels. Yeah. So it's like, oh man, they're just killing all the people that could help, and they're they're exploding things.
Yeah, and maybe I have too much heart because, like, it's supposed to be funny. Like, oh, he accidentally killed the good guys. Ha ha ha. But to me, I was just like heartbroken. Like, oh my God, this is horrible. Yeah.
And then Alice Braga is supposed to be like, well, if you're here to help, you just killed my whole team. I'm going to murder you guys and do this myself.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't see a version where she's like, well, that sucks, but we got a mission. Whatever we need to do for my people. No, F that noise. You killed all my friends. I'm putting you in the ground, except for the shark, which seems impossible. Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't believe, like, just the lack of character motivation there. Like, that. Right. That should have broke her in a major way. If she doesn't retaliate violently, she should have just broke, cried,
Yeah. It just gets washed away.
Yep. No,
it's fine. Get it. It's not that kind of movie, but still.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like then this is why I brought up God at the beginning, because I feel like the moral standard in this country has dropped so low that actually a lot of people think this is funny. Like, it's funny that they just killed all the people that are trying to help.
Right.
And it's, to me, it's like, what? Like, don't you see how horrible this, like, all of this is horrible. Don't you see how every single character in this film is horrible? They're all terrible criminals. The leader of the thing is called Suicide Squad. She has no remorse. She sends people in to die. She pushes the button to blow people's brains up. But the moral of the story is the end justifies the means. And to me, that is horrible.
Right. In the first movie, I mean, they maintain that Amanda Waller's terrible. That's not a new thing. And honestly, I feel like in this movie, she's less terrible than in the first movie. Because in that first movie, she's in that room, calling the plays with her support staff. And then when it's time to go, she just murders her whole support staff. She's like, hold on, I just got one more thing to do. Pop, 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 pop. Kills everybody in the room. And then Flag's like, all right, you ready to go? Like,
and we're supposed to, that's what I don't understand. It's like the morals have degraded so far in the country that we're all just like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Let's just be on board with this. It's fine.
I don't know that I don't know that this is, in general. I don't know that this is a reflection on like the world and its morals. Honestly, I think it is a course correction on behalf of superhero movies because of the success of Deadpool. I think Deadpool made like, how can we blow people up and kill people in an interesting way? And then people are just like riding that money train. You know what I mean? What can be our version of Deadpool? Mortal Kombat does that with like the Mortal Kombat movie with like all those like wild fatalities. It's like they wouldn't have put that on the screen 10 years ago. But even Deadpool tried to do things for sort of the right reason, or kind in a way, like even though he's a mercenary or whatever. But I mean, in general, he still seemed to have some kind of internal compass, as screwed up as it is, But in this case, like it's just, to me, it's terrible. Like the overarching story, like Starro is the good guy. You know what I mean? Like he was just chilling, doing his own thing. And we kidnapped him and did experiments on him for years, and then killed everybody that had anything to do with it, and then did the evidence. And in fact, that was the mission, was to hide the evidence that we were the ones that did all this with Starro, and not so much even kill Starro himself. Like it was just, we just need to hide the evidence. That was the mission. Hide the evidence that we did bad things. And so I know you're saying it's not a moral thing, but this is instilling this type of morality into people. Because they're like, okay, well, as long as it's for a good cause, you can do horrible, horrible things. And I don't know. Yeah, I certainly don't think it's that deep.
You say that, but I'm just saying overall, I mean, that's what we've seen in Hollywood. Like just every film I watch, every TV show I watch, the moral compass of the protagonist is so terrible that it's hard to even identify with him. Like,
yeah, I mean, like we've entered a place where heroes aren't fun, anti-heroes are. I mean, that's what happened with Superman. Like, they were like, how do we make, brooding Superman? And we got, 2.5 movies of that with Zack Snyder. So
sure, it's brooding Superman, but I mean, like he still had a compass. You know what I mean? Like he still felt.
But he murdered Zod.
You could see you could see the struggle and the torture in him when he did it. Like it was not a thing he was proud of. It's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think there's a struggle with some of these characters, obviously like not with Peacemaker. Peacemaker just does whatever, I think Flag in the beginning Flag turns out to be the moral compass. He just happens to get, his heart punctured.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It's showing that if you stand up for what's right, you get your heart punctured.
I'm saying, but it's also saying what's more noble than standing up for what's right.
Hiding the truth for the greater good.
But these other characters, like if anybody's the hero, it's Flag, and everybody else are these like anti-heroes. Like at the end of the day, they're still like they would still be villains in another story.
Sure, sure. I know that, but the purpose of the Suicide Squad is to send them in to do a good thing for the country. That's the purpose, right? It's a government agency that has no accountability, so that they can go in and do something good for the country, but with no accountability. From my point of view, they're not doing anything good for the country. But I mean, maybe it is good for the country, but to steal a record that the country did something bad, maybe that is good. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying, the purpose is not noble in this mission. The mission is not noble. Whereas I feel like that was the design of it, was to do noble things, but with bad people. You see what I'm saying?
No, I think the design is. I mean, one of the things that is established very clearly up front is that Amanda Waller is not noble.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, like, maybe I'm just in my mind, like, thinking that's what it should be. And maybe that's where I'm broken. And, like,
I mean, that would be, like, morally better. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, these guys are
villains.
Well, it's also that they're kind of being forced to do this.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, this isn't a thing that they're like, yeah, I will sign up and I'm here and let's do it because I want to do it. They're doing it like they're put in these impossible situations.
Yeah,
by somebody who doesn't care if they die because they would rather have the people that are the good soldiers do more realistic, non-life-threatening stuff.
Yeah, the ones that they think can actually accomplish the mission, they put on the side, obviously. Yeah, I mean, that's right. It all makes sense. Like, it all logically makes sense. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong, quote unquote, with the movie, except for the fact that to me, it's just so dark. And so, I mean, it is called the Suicide Squad, but I don't know. I was just hoping for a little hope. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, this just isn't that movie. It's
not that movie. And I don't know. And maybe that's what the J.J. Abrams films will be. Maybe they'll be the hopeful DC universe. They will bring back some Adam West type Batman. And
I don't know about that one. I don't know. I think Batman's always going to be dark and brooding.
Yeah.
But I'm putting a lot of hope and faith in this Flash movie to, like, do some stuff.
I think it's going to undo everything. That's what I'm sad about.
100%. Yeah. What's also interesting is at the very beginning, before the movie started playing, they played this, like, little DC clip thing that had, like, Suicide Squad. It had clips from all of the DC stuff. Flash also showed that Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie in there. So what I think they're basically saying, like, all of this stuff is the same, but not. And it's all
Matthew,
that multiverse.
Mark, Luke, and John. Yes.
No, I think it's also. I think it's more so. I for, like, between this and Suicide Squad, yeah. But and even like Harley Quinn movie,
Birds of Prey, that was
Birds of Prey. Like, Birds of Prey is a movie that's seen through her eyes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it just has all that flair to it that doesn't exist in this one.
I don't know. There was a little bit of flair.
Yeah, we get a little bit of flair in that sequence inside the, like, palace. That was great. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It was creative.
Yeah.
If Harley wasn't in this movie, they could have made it shorter. They could have took out that whole scene where she was distracted by that guy. All of that.
They would get less people watching it.
It didn't progress the story any. Like, all of that. Like, it just was an excuse to put Harley in the film and have a scene with her. Oh, yeah. Like, it wasn't. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just done. Maybe I'm just done with everything. I've just reached the point where I'm just not going to watch anything anymore. And I don't know what this podcast is going to be about. Like, because I don't know anymore. Like, my taste have gotten maybe just curmudgeon-y old man. And I don't know, man. Do you remember the movie Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. I only saw it once, but I remember it.
It was, like, hopeful and uplifting and action-y and fun and all the things. And where are those movies? You know what I mean? That's never going to happen again.
Look, I know you probably don't have the Apple Plus, and I'm sure you don't want to subscribe to One More Thing. Mm-hmm. But if you can get your hands on Ted Lasso, it's, like, the most uplifting, like, hopeful. It is 30 minutes of positivity.
So it exists in a box in a paywall. Okay.
Well, what's interesting is that it, all the things that you're describing and all of that, like, and I think, Deadpool led to more R-rated comic book movies. It kind of paved the way to say, look, this can be done and it can be done well and you can make money off of it. And, so you see some of the studios kind of go in that direction. And I think this Suicide Squad, does that. We wouldn't have random naked guy with his penis flopping in the wind shooting a gun if it weren't for Deadpool.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
we have Deadpool to thank for that. Yeah, thanks.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Ryan.
So
But is that something that people want to see?
well, I mean, at the end of the day, like male nudity being used for comedy is not a completely untapped land, but aside from like what Jason Segel in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, you know, what's that one movie? A Dewey Cox. There's like a couple of movies where they drop it, and but it's an untapped resource.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely funny. It's just I don't know. I don't know why I was expecting something different. Because it delivered on all the things that probably a Suicide Squad movie should have. I don't know. I miss my having a little bit of hope, or a little bit of, or at least tie it into something else. Like, you've got that giant DC multiverse going on. You could have tapped it into something a little bit. You know what I mean?
And maybe that's what, maybe it's like, that's what Shazam is for.
I mean, you're right. Shazam was the more fun, uplifting movie, and you're right.
It was a fun, hopeful family movie.
But I didn't mind the blood and all the things and the R rating, and like that was cool. It's cool to have that. Like, I miss the Die Hard type of action,
all right,
sort of thing. But it just I don't know why it felt off for me. Like, I just did not resonate with this film. Like, just for whatever
then you
reason.
have to more acutely connect the movie to the Ratcatcher storyline, the father-daughter connection,
right,
and then her connection with the other characters, finding family within circumstances. And
so it was there, and maybe it's just
rats are gross and terrible,
exactly,
but they can be cool too. And these people are the rats of society, but they can be cool and useful too.
Yeah, and maybe that's why I didn't connect with the character that I should have connected with, is because rats
skeeve you out.
Gross. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, maybe that character was there for just for me, and I just didn't see it. So that's entirely possible. This was fun, like computer transformer guns.
Yeah, his whole situation was real interesting. Real interesting.
And we didn't talk about Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man is a big winner in this movie.
I enjoyed that. Yeah.
All of the cutaway scenes to his mom replacing
Hilarious.
all of the people, fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
That was great.
Yeah.
Rat Girl saves the day. Shark Guy eats people.
Shark Guy almost eating Ratcatcher too. That was just a fun visual. Early in the movie, he's just kind of like...
That was a nice message, Shark Guy just needs friends. Yeah, he just needs some friends. Yeah. That was a nice message.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know why I got so rubbed the wrong way. I don't know what I was expecting. It was obviously the wrong thing. But, I got attached to Savant at the beginning, and I guess that just, stabbed my heart a little bit when his head blew up,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. And the weasel just was like, why?
Yeah, that was creepy but fun.
Just,
certainly not a bunch of redeemable characters, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's terrible. Everybody's terrible.
Yeah.
Except for Rat Girl, who's gross.
Yeah. There's something about people just willy-nilly, anytime in any movie where there's some sort of alien type creature, right? And anyone has to touch it or interact with its insides, I immediately start thinking of alien bacteria, man. This could be there could be acid in there. Could be the Ridley Scott Alien where its blood is acid.
Yeah, just impregnate itself in you. Yeah.
Exactly.
What are you doing? Yeah.
So
you should know
her
better.
jumping through the eye, I just immediately have she's gonna grow tumors now.
Right. Yeah. It's over for her.
Something's gonna happen. You don't just do that and end up being physiologically okay afterward for the long term. There's gonna be some lasting effects. Maybe you got some lung damage. Maybe your skin gets weirder than it already is. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Honestly, that was one of the better looking shots. It was very.
Oh, it was a great shot. Visually,
beautifully executed shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, you're not wrong.
So gross.
And why didn't they just call in?
Stuff makes me weird.
Why didn't they just call in a guy like a fighter pilot or something?
Oh yeah. Definitely scramble the jets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just that just shows you like she doesn't care. Amanda Waller just does not care. She didn't even care.
No.
She didn't care if he lived. She was just like, as long as you got the hard drive.
She was perfectly fine with Starro just like conquering the island and being like, Starro's Island, we don't mess with that anymore.
Yeah. Feel bad for these people. Mm-hmm. What was it? Maltese something?
Cordo Maltese.
Yeah.
Which is fun because in the very first Batman movie, Michael Keaton, Kim Basinger's character, the thing that she was known for were the pictures that she took in the war in the Cordo Maltese.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a little thread there.
Yeah. And evidently, like, it's in the comics. Like, it's a place in the comics.
It's a place, in DC.
Right. Okay. All right. So I think we did this with the Harley Quinn movie. So... And I think we did this with Suicide Squad. Or no, we did this with Justice League. Let's take everything. Well, not everything. Let's take Tim Burton Batman out. We'll take Christopher Nolan Batman out. Christopher Reeve Superman out.
Modern DCEU.
Modern DCEU plus Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. Mm-hmm. Give me your order.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to go with, I don't even know what order I had last time, but let's go with Man of Steel. I rewatched that not too long ago. Pretty good.
It's fantastic.
I really enjoyed the new Zack Snyder's Justice League quite a bit.
Okay. All right.
Where did we see a lot of Batman? Batman v Superman?
Oh yeah, Batman vs Superman.
I really enjoyed Ben Affleck.
You got Wonder Woman, you got Wonder Woman 84, you've got Birds of Prey.
I would have to put Wonder
Phoenix,
Woman.
Joker.
The first Wonder Woman obviously was probably above Batman v Superman, and then so Batman v Superman would be 4, and then oh Lord, I don't know. I mean, all of these, everything else is just sort of in the same group for me. Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad. Joker would be above it. I think Joker on its own, it's stood. I might even put Joker as number 3 because. On its own, it's a fairly decent film.
Right. I realize that that's hard to do because like that's a movie that like I thought was very good. I have no need to watch that ever again.
No,
I don't need to watch that ever again. And honestly, like if it's on, I'm kind of like, nah.
It's dark.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's heavy.
It's super dark. That's like that's a heavy place that I don't want to like live in.
No.
If it's about watchability, I'm putting it last.
Right. Yeah. No, as far as a film, yeah, it's up there like 3. But as far as like rewatching, no, never. No.
Yeah.
I might rewatch it if there's some kind of sequel or they actually use Joaquin Phoenix in the future. But I don't know why. It's to me, the DCEU is just kind of this weird, disjointed dumpster fire of films that, are just an average of 6 out of 10 for me. This is another 6 out of 10. Like, okay, it's better than an average film. But it didn't move me in any particular way. It didn't make me care more about any of these characters more than I already did. It did show me that Idris Elba has an incredible presence. This guy should have been in more stuff. You know what I mean? Like
he's in a lot of things when you think. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the Thor movies. Did you
watch the Dark Tower?
I did. He was great in that.
He was great. I mean, obviously, I feel like they botched the whole script and the story, but I mean, he held his own in that. But I feel like in this, he just really, every time he was on screen, I was like kind of glued to it. You know what I mean? Like he just has that magnetism about him.
Definitely.
Whereas everybody else could care less. Don't know why.
Yeah.
You?
As far as like order?
Yeah. What's your order?
I mean, it's definitely. I don't think it's in the top 5. I'd probably go, Wonder Woman first, Man of Steel second, and probably Snyder Cut, then Wonder Woman 84, then Batman vs Superman. Either way, as far as just like watchability and like rewatching, I probably watch Birds of Prey before I watch this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I would put it right next to the other Suicide Squad. I would say because the Suicide Squad is on TBS all the time, and there's just like pop it on for a couple of minutes and watch what happens, and and it's fine, and it's a flawed movie. I would put the Suicide Squad kind of in that same kind of realm. Like if it's on, I'm gonna watch a couple of minutes or whatever. I would say maybe all three of those then kind of all live in that same space. Right now, just in Birds of Prey, there's like some really fun like character choices that Ewan McGregor makes that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, these guys are these heads were actual people and then they were shrunk and now they're just in my living room. Ew.
Yeah, he was funny.
Like there's just like little quirky things with him and with, oh gosh, what's that guy's name? The guy who plays Victor Zsasz. I thought that was a fun take on Victor Zsasz. So, but I think I put those like giant tentpole movies all ahead of this.
Have you done Doom Patrol yet?
No, I have not. Is it good?
I couldn't stop watching it. For whatever reason, it sort of has this ability to make you care about these characters.
Cool.
And I wish that any of these other films did that, and maybe it's just because it's a longer format. I don't know. I feel like the storytelling in Doom Patrol is a higher level than this. And it's just,
awesome.
It makes me sad that something with such a low budget, but still DC characters can really reel me in. And then when they do go all out and spend hundreds of millions of dollars, it's like, meh.
Yeah. So they're going to make a Peacemaker HBO Max show. How do you feel about that?
The line, I would do anything for peace, including murder women and children or whatever.
Right.
What's the line?
Yeah.
That was kind of funny and probably a fairly accurate American Patriot type statement, maybe if you take it too far, but no, not interested. I thought he had a pretty good on-screen presence, but I actually enjoyed Rick Flag's character more, I guess maybe because he was trying to be more moral, and I enjoyed Idris Elba so much more that having a whole John Cena show whose character I did not really like that much. Right. Doesn't make sense. Just why are you picking characters that are
so I saw a quote from James Gunn that was basically like, everybody in this movie has an arc except him. He's the only person that doesn't grow at all. So that's the only reason why he should have a movie, is because he should have a show, is because like everybody in the movie gets to another place, they learn something about
over
themselves.
time, something changes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And he doesn't. He stays exactly the same the whole time. So we need another show to get that. And I was like, okay, I get that as a justification, but like, I'm not rooting for him. I'm not rooting for him at all. And I'm certainly not rooting for Amanda Waller either.
Nope.
Also, the fact that Amanda Waller didn't murder everybody in that room when she got hit by a golf club.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
I
not
realize
Amanda Waller.
I'm not supposed to connect these two movies because they're not the same, but I'm pretty sure that woman gets hit in the face with a golf club. She's gonna murder everybody.
Every single person. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we didn't talk about the gambling at the beginning. I don't, personally, I don't have a problem with gambling, obviously, but it's just another like moral degradation put into the film. Did I say that right? Degradation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like here, let's add some more moral ambiguity. Moral ambiguity. That should be the title of the film.
Well, I think what it does is it establishes that none of these people are great people.
Yeah, it definitely does that. Everyone is terrible, and here's a film with those people.
Here's a film with those people. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see if some of them can get better.
Yeah.
And some of them do. Some of those people are like, they do hit her over the head with the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they hit her over the head with the thing. You got Rick Flag trying to do the right thing, even though he's going to get his brain blown up. And you got Ratcatcher 2. Yeah. So I don't know. I want to see them again. Like, do I want to see Rick Flag again? Do I want to see Ratcatcher 2 again?
I don't think we're going to. I don't think we're going to see Rick Flag again.
He may not have. Who did I hear didn't die? Oh, it's John Cena didn't die. Yeah, but it's like, yeah. The only
and that was a fake out,
dies.
too. That was a fake out where they were like, oh, I can't believe his heart. And you're like, oh, cool, Rick Flag's still alive. And they're like, just kidding, it's Peacemaker. Not cool.
Yeah, I just, redeem Peacemaker. Sure, go ahead. See if you can do that.
Right?
That'll be that's a tough sell for me.
It's a tough sell. It's a tough sell.
Quite a bit of...
Here's an unlikable character. We're going to show you more of them.
Yeah. What happened? What happened, Ben?
Tell you, man, you got to watch Ted Lasso. Because I think
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
The success of Ted Lasso is going to lead people in this direction. I think it being this show plus Schitt's Creek, I think people are moving, like the scale is moving away from the like anti-hero, and I think more like positive outlook type characters are going to be coming
even mind
in the next couple
anti-hero.
of years.
You know, like just make them likable. Deadpool is likable.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's just when you're just terrible, you're just terrible. When you're just terrible, you're just terrible. That's my review of the Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Marvel What If came out yesterday. I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably do that.
I don't know. Yeah. I guess because there's literally nothing else to watch. So I might watch it. Yeah. I'm only keeping my Disney Plus so I can watch the Luke Skywalker documentary behind the scenes thing. Like,
do you have a cable package? Do you watch TBS? Can you watch TBS?
I probably could watch TBS. Yeah.
All right. Miracle Workers. It's just a 30 minute, TV show. And it is silly, but fun. I would call it an anthology series. The first season was basically like Steve Buscemi plays God, and everybody else are workers in heaven. And God's got some self-esteem issues, so he decides to just shut it all down. And he's like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and end the world. And then the rest of the team like talks him into being like, no, we're cool. We should keep doing this. And then the second season is all the same actors, but just in a completely different scenario. Oh. And now they're on their third season. So the second season's all like in medieval times. And then the third season is Oregon Trail.
Oh, wow.
And it's got Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter.
Okay. The third season does, or all of them?
All three.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Steve Buscemi, Daniel Radcliffe, Geraldine Visnoithian, something like that. She's hilarious. And a handful of other people that show up.
I hate to do this.
It's good and worth your time.
So watch that show.
Yeah, watch Miracle Workers. Okay. It's fun.
Okay,
it is also like, it's very positive.
I need a little bit of that. I just need a little bit. It just seems like there's so much going on right now. It's
right?
So yeah.
Need a little levity.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah. Wellington Paranormal also. Well, actually, no. You need to watch What We Do in the Shadows, the movie first.
It sounds dark.
No. It's hilarious. I told you about this a couple weeks ago.
You did,
it's the Taika Waititi vampire movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did tell me
It's fantastic. I swear by this movie.
Do you know what platform it's on?
Give me 2 seconds.
Two guys.
Googling stuff.
Two guys Googling stuff.
I just wanted to say thank you, everybody. Seems like we had a few more listeners last week, and that means a lot. So thanks for doing that. And if there's anything you want us to talk about in particular, please leave a comment. Or if you agree or disagree or any of those things, leave a comment. You can visit the show notes in the description, or you can comment on YouTube as well.
It looks like you can watch it on YouTube for $2.99.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
but Miracle
Workers is a lot of fun.
We can start with that, I think.
Highly recommend. Yeah.
And I did finish Warrior as well. It got so intense during that scene where they're hanging the guy that we were so uncomfortable we couldn't finish that episode. We actually just skipped the end of it and went to the next episode.
That's a good move.
But totally I feel like I missed out on a lot of cool action at the end. I imagine he just kicked a ton of ass at the end.
If I remember correctly,
because the Irish came in, and I imagine he had to just slaughter them all.
No, he just they have this moment where they
oh, that's right. He goes and fights the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he goes and fights the guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't miss too much.
I don't remember how that ended.
I thought a bunch of people came into Chinatown and destroyed it.
Yeah, there's a all-out war in Chinatown. They have this all-out war, and then when that's all over and done with, Assam and some dudes go back and retrieve. What's the dude's name? Is his name Jacob?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they go and retrieve Jacob's body, and then he comes back and he's like, "We're gonna fight, you and I."
That's good. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And on that note, Seriously though, next week we'll bring a lot more levity and hopefully some comedy to this thing. And,
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate you.
We'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Bye.